as the last Viking king in Jorvik was vanished, Jorvik expanded dramatically, with new streets, new churches, and a brand new style of houses. It was a busy place, with people arriving from all over the Viking world to visit, trade, and settle. In this multicultural society, people had different appearances, languages, religions, and possessions. The remains of part of this Viking city were found right here, and by carefully piecing together all of the archaeological evidence and what we know from other sources, you can now visit the Viking age. You have arrived by the River Foss. Ahead lies the city with countless houses and workshops, many of them newly rebuilt. Some, like this damaged one, are victims of untended hardbound. As ships became more seaworthy, the Vikings created wider trading routes, sometimes using chains of middlemen to carry goods from one side of the Viking world to the other. Silks and the cowrie shell found here suggest trade with Central Asia, the Eastern Mediterranean and the Red Sea. It's possible that Arab traders like this one made their way to Jorvik to sell their goods. Slaves moved to and governed elsewhere, bringing with them the spoils of their lands or invasions. Slaves were an important part of society all over northern and western Europe at this time. It looks like this slave is trying to make his way to Copper. But before we get there, let's have a look at some of the living craftspeople working here in the city. Here's Sigurd. He's using almond bones and antler deer to make some everyday objects such as combs, comb cases, skates, and bone pins. Making a comb from antler can be very time-consuming, but the ones found here were made from many pieces riveted together and then decorated. We know that the Vikings liked to keep themselves well groomed, as we found many combs in the excavations, as well as items such as tweezers and even ear screws. We'll now head away from the river towards the street Jorvik and meet some more of the people who lived and worked here. Ahead, you can see a simple, single-story building. These older houses were built from posts and wattle and have earth floors and thatched roofs. Most of these houses went out of use in the middle of the 10th century when they were replaced by the oak-plank buildings that we'll talk about later. These early houses were built end-on to the streets and had long backyards with rubbish pits in them. It's not likely that they grew much food in the yards, but they probably kept animals there, such as those pigs you can see in the pen by the fence. From the many pig bones we found here, we know that Viking pigs were quite short and had a long snout like a wild boar. Pigs will eat almost anything, so would have been a great way to turn household waste into meat. Here's the blacksmith's house. Look inside and you can see his wife by the fire. Grummy, the blacksmith, is teaching his son how to sharpen a knife he's just made. Viking age smiths were masters of their craft, and here in Jorvik they make everything from needles to beautifully ornate ornaments. Now we'll go across to the next property and visit his neighbour, Jorvik, a woodtiller who lives in one of the new style wooden plank buildings. Gunny is making crocks and bowls by turning wood such as oak or ash on his cold blade. You can see all the wooden core waste on the ground, which children may have used as spinning tools. By the way, it's this trade that many think gave its name to Jorvik, the street of the cup makers. Another building is being built behind Gunny's house. Here, the cellar is being dug out and lined with oak planks before the upper story is added. You can see a stack of turrets over there that are going to be used to roof this building. Looks like the builders are having a rest though. This family also look like they're taking a break. The children are being taught to play method tackle by their grandfather. We found a wooden gaming board and lots of playing pieces made from bone, wood and ivory, so it must have been a popular pastime. Let's go back towards the river where big trading ships have come up from the North Sea. Here, traders are unloading their goods alongside fishermen claiming their catch. Goods and raw materials from across Britain, as well as rare and valuable items from further afield, were brought into Jorvik here. Iron and bars from Britain alongside amber, sharpening stones and more recycled from Scandinavia, and good wine from the Viking. Jorvik was truly bustling, a vast international trading centre. Here some fishermen cleaning their catch and mending their nets. Fish from the rivers and the sea were brought into Jorvik, and we found thousands of fish bones that tell us exactly what the people ate, which included lots of fish, eels, and even oysters. So these men are probably doing a roaring trade. Have a look at the man gutting the fish. His face has been reconstructed based on a skull that was found in the road. Later on in the visit, you see more real faces like this. This next block is a backyard where the people living here seem to have been dyeing their own cloth. The people of Jorvik spun fleece and dyed and woven their own wool to make textiles from which they made their own clothes. Natural dyes such as madder, gravel, rose, and dyed greenery were all used to create shades of red, yellow, green, and green. Vibrantly coloured clothes and certainly brightened up the streets of Jorvik. On this plot of land, there was a gully that contained dyed white lead, suggesting that a dark bath had been tripped into it. Limestone rained after coming up to this next building, forming a passageway to the back door. We are now entering one of the new style oak flank buildings. We're still discussing whether these buildings were one or two story, but they all had rooms or cellars below ground level. As we travel through this two-roomed house, you can imagine the floor at the back is being built, and you can see the cellar below where goods are stored. Above this sunken room, the window openings are only small, so, as you can see, it would have been quite dark inside these houses. In addition to the hearth, small pottery lamps and wax candles were used to create light so that the people who lived here could carry out their everyday tasks. In this front room, you can see a woman working at the loom, which was used to weave woolen cloth for clothing and blankets. We're now moving into Propagated Sand, an important commercial street right in the heart of the city of Jorvik. As you can see from these stalls, you can buy almost anything. Coppergate is just one of the many streets in this city, which was home to more than 10,000 people. The streets of the city of Jorvik are covered in filth and muck, rutted by cart wheels and with potholes everywhere. This leather worker seems to be having a problem sewing his shoe pieces together. It looks like he has Viking disease, a deeply toned contraction. You can see it's caused the fingers on his hand to become clawed. It's a genetic disorder that runs in families and seen particularly in middle-aged men. Tradition has it that it originated with the Vikings who spread it throughout Northern Europe and beyond as they travelled and intermarried. This couple here are arguing about what to have for supper, meat or fish. It would seem that life hasn't changed too much over the last 1,000 years. They're arguing in Old Norse, but if you listen carefully, you can hear Old English, Middle Welsh and Old Irish all being spoken in this street. Here's a food seller trying to sell this wealthy-looking woman a cabbage of some sort. It doesn't look like the type of thing that would tempt her or her young lady. This woman looks like she's struggling to cross the road. We only found 2 complete skeletons in the excavations here, but this woman is based on one of them. You can see that she's walking with a crutch due to her head problems and arthritis. You can find out more about her in the galleries to come. Here, we're in another of the new buildings. The first Vikings who came here were not Christians and worshipped their pagan Norse gods, but they seem to have adopted Christianity quite quickly. There is lots of evidence for there being a Viking-era church just behind Jorvik, and there were many other new churches built in Jorvik at this time. Here's a priest administering last rites. He would always have worn a stole, as seen here, as it marked his priestly status. We found a very small, silk, pink-coloured reliquary pouch in one of the buildings. The embroidered cross on it suggests that it once held holy relics which have since disappeared and are now a mystery. Each property is separated from the next by woven wattled fences. We know from the 5 tons of animal bone found in the excavation, people's diet was quite similar to ours, with lots of beef, pork and mutton, as well as poultry and fish. Supplying this food may have been one of the reasons for the major changes in the countryside we see around Jorvik at this time. In this backyard, animals have been slaughtered to provide meat and other resources. Body parts of cattle must have been a fairly familiar sight and smell around Viking Age Europe. As well as supplying meat, cattle carcasses also provided horn and hide, both valuable resources for making everyday items. Stomach contents and cow dung were other byproducts of this slaughter. There must have been loads of flies breeding in rubbish pits and dumps across the city. The red coat there on the fence would have been a regular visitor, scavenging in the city, particularly in backyards like this. Toilets would also have been situated in the backyard. Pits in this yard were clearly used as latrines, as they were full of human waste, as well as moss, which was a type of Viking-age toilet paper. This man here doesn't look too happy to be disturbed, so perhaps we had better move on quickly. Here, we are in our final house. In the excavations at Jorvik, we found a few Viking-age musical instruments, including a set of panpipes which can still be played. Music, saga-telling and poetry must have been important in the Viking world. Iceland and Scandinavia have culturally rich in storytelling, traditions that developed in Viking times. Norse mythology, which conjures up gods and monsters living in known realms, still captures the imagination today, and we can picture what it was like sitting around a hearth, enjoying tall tales of magic and bravery. As we arrive at the end of your journey through Jorvik, remember that everything you have seen is based on the evidence dug up by archaeologists from York Archaeological Trust. You can see some of the 40,000 actual objects they found here in the displays ahead, and you can find out more by asking one of our team. If you want to learn more